the commensurate prosperity level of the resources that we have in Africa is not what we have.
Wow.
It's not at the same level, and it's sad, really.
It is sad.
Yeah. Why? We have, now, take my dear country, for example. We are the owners of crude oil, and yet we are slaves to crude oil. We suffer. We are starving.
The problem does not only, because most times we drive it to the government. The problem does not only lies with the government. As far as important that they also have their own fault, they also have their own loopholes. The citizen, people also have their own weaknesses in this area. That is, I and you, either the employee or employer, you also have something to do in this economy. You also have your potential to contribute,
Of course,
in this economy. But most time you will not see them. You see them praying most of the time. Why you are not doing it? As much as praying is important, but you cannot always be praying without doing it.
One of the challenges that we have is this colonial legacy, because of course almost every country in Africa can relate to colonialism. One of the colonial legacies is that because, in fact, the main essence of colonialism was to move raw materials from where they are plenty to where they are needed, which was the Africa and the Americas to the European markets. Now, in a way, that was the mindset that was still handed over to the nationalists that gained independence in these different countries. At least we can talk about Nigeria because we know about Nigeria. Now, what I'm trying to say is, have we really broken out of that mindset of take your raw materials, raw skills, raw passion, raw knowledge, raw everything.
Country.
Take it, not just a country, take it to someone else or another organization or anything. I'm not saying people should not intern. I'm not saying people should not be apprentices, but I want you to think of resources in different forms now. Now, have we gotten out of that mindset of taking raw materials to be repurposed in other places without us waiting to learn how to process them?
Welcome to Tebeba Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Hello, exceptional people. And we're glad to welcome you to this episode of Tebeba Podcast. You know how we do it on this platform. We provide big questions, like we ask you insightful questions. We explore ideas and we profile solutions to societal issues. Or at least we start to show you how to profile those solutions. Today on the show, I'm your host, Sunshine, and I have amazing people doing this podcast with me today. You know that. You know how we do it. I have with me the melanin puppet, the delectable, the intellect. Oh, in fact, my throat. The intelligent, the beautiful, the energetic Ara.
All that's only me.
Yes, so
First, thank you so much, Sunshine. I'm so glad to be here.
happy to have
Show.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us again. And we have also the only man on the show, at least for now. Before anybody wants to come and, contend for his place, but let him enjoy. We have the intelligent, the insightful, the energetic, the question spinner.
Oh, God.
M to the E to the R to the C to the Y. Mercy. Yeah.
Nobody's going to take my place except for if a guest is joining
correct.
us.
I love
So
okay. I like
my
that.
place is for me. It's for me
Your
and
place
for
is your
me
place.
alone. It's my place.
Thank you for
So-
your place.
So yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
for coming.
for having me once again. Ara, how you doing?
I'm good. It's
You're
nice
looking
to have
good.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sunshine,
for coming.
thank you for welcoming me.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome. And it's great to have you both. And yeah, let's explore something that looks like it's a touchy subject, but it's still important, right? Because we are all builders and growers of our country as well as our continent. Now, do we have a wealth paradox in Africa? Like, are we rich in resources but poor when it comes to the consideration of prosperity? That's what we're talking about. Because really looking at it, Africa is, I can say Africa is like an influencer among the continents. Africa constantly trends. Africa constantly has one news or the other going around. So do we have a wealth paradox in Africa, right? Can we, when we are to look at our resources versus the prosperity level that we're enjoying, what can we say about it?
Well, the opposite.
That's a serious claim.
What
Can you
an
please
opposite.
educate us? How do you mean what an opposite?
Sadly, there's a a distance, quite a distance in the resources or between the resources that we have and
The prosperity.
the prosperity level. We should put it on a scale or it's not encouraging. It's not encouraging because the commensurate prosperity level of the resources that we have in Africa is not what we have.
Wow.
It's
That's
not at
fair.
the same level, and it's sad, really.
It is sad.
Yeah. Why? We have now. Take my dear country, for example. We are the owners of crude oil, and yet we are slaves to crude oil. We suffer. We are starving. Look at the rising, the rising fuel, the rising.
So many things. Yeah.
I got to know the price of a liter of kerosene.
Okay.
Jesus.
So switch day. We don't have a lot of people using it anymore.
I was at the filling station to, I think, fuel gas, and someone just mentioned, I think I overheard, it's outrageous. It's terrible.
They still
You know,
take kerosene.
it wasn't
Okay,
even
they
a
still
liter.
Still use kerosene, but
People use. I was surprised as
it's
well.
minimal. Yeah, like
Very, very, very
it's
minimal.
minimal. You may not find it everywhere.
Okay.
And the quantity that time when they used to sell it to buy kerosene, the quantity that I'll buy for maybe, I can't remember now.
I can remember the bottle.
Yes.
They said
The
bottle,
bottle, maybe
17 naira,
thank you.
something like that. One bottle,
Cha.
then half bottle, maybe 35
And then
naira.
I heard that
something like that.
quantity, you are selling it for maybe 2,500.
Jeez.
Like,
Kerosene.
That's almost equal to a kg of that.
oh, it's more expensive than fuel.
True. Than the petrol. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Almost equivalent to gas, but more.
It was like, I can't remember the exact price, but it was so outrageous. And that's in a country where we are the owners.
Like
The
we have
people
the
the
crude
people
oil
that
in
are
abundance.
using crude oil to do what do you guys call that thing?
Where you get the word? Because I'm not in your mind.
They are trying to use something. I'm not giving you.
Oh yes, like we have it in abundance that we can
Exactly.
actually
They use their
like
punishing us for it.
Yes,
They got it from us. It's really sad.
it is.
Well, Nigeria has potentials, and
We do.
we have a lot
Even
of
Africa as a whole,
potentials
because we're looking at
and
Africa.
resources because, okay, Africa has a lot of potentials. In Africa, we have a lot of crude oil, we have a lot of diamond. Okay, those are
Can I interrupt
resources.
you? I quickly got this.
Okay.
In Africa, one of the statistics I got is that Africa has 30% of global mineral reserves.
Global reserves.
Mineral reserves. Only Africa has 30%. Just hold on. We have 26 key minerals in Africa, including diamond, gold, steel, iron, coal, and so on.
Yeah.
Now, Merriam-Webster calls resources an available supply of something that you can draw from. And it calls prosperity the condition of being successful or thriving. So someone was writing a paper on this thing, and I was interested. I said, oh, this would be a good conversation. So just to buttress what you said.
You see now. So that's why we're talking about resources. Then what about human resources? We also have.
Chill.
We have skillful people.
Intellect.
But many times this conversation can actually drive at the government. That government did not provide necessary testing. Government did not. Where as true as that could be, that government does not provide, but it is not entirely true.
Okay.
It is not entirely true because actually we are not in a capitalist economy. Actually,
okay. Why'd you say that?
Actually, we should not be in it. I mean, when you see the way people actually giving price to production and all of that, it's a kind of coming from their perspective, coming from what they have. But there is a particular body that regulates prices.
Okay.
So there's a particular body that regulates the prices of things. So why, as far as important as the government is, then the people also are important.
Oh yeah.
The people are also important. People who are owner of company, owner of productions, owner of that services. how are you also doing it? And what are the kind of skillful people are you employing
to maximize the
to start to
resources that you
the-
have.
Exactly, and to maximize their own skill.
Of course.
To maximize their own skill, because they did not come from a certain home, they did not come from a certain place, from a certain tribe. You won't take them. You will just be stick to what you have been doing, and you cannot maximize that. You cannot expand. You cannot grow.
Wow.
So the problem does not only, because most times we drive it to the government. The problem does not only lies with the government. As far as important that they also have their own fault, they also have their own loopholes. The citizen, people also have their own weaknesses in this area. That is, I and you, either the employee or employer, you also have something to do in this economy. You also have your potential to contribute,
Of course,
in this economy. But most time you will not see them. You see them praying most of the time. Why you are not doing it? As much as praying is important, but you cannot always be praying without doing anything. Even though the Bible says that, show me your work.
Yes. Show me your faith by your
faith
works.
by your works.
Yeah.
Show me your faith by your works. So where's your work? You only have faith. But where's your work? Work
Where's the
and pray.
evidence?
So while you're working, pray.
So walking is the evidence that
Is
you
the
have
evidence
faith.
that you have
Even
faith.
faith without words is dead.
Is dead. Thank you.
Yeah.
So why do we always go to church every now and then, neglecting your own potential, your own skills, and your own creative prowess? You cannot use that. You cannot convert that to elevate the economy, to elevate your own community, your own home. You cannot. You can do it for free because you think that God say we should. I don't know. There are people that does that. I mean, it is literally people does that. I've seen people like that. So if you are using that, contribute it to the to the economy. Contribute, bring that your resources. So what I'm saying here is that aside from government, because I know that this conversation, most times when people say, we have crude oil, we have this thing, but government is not providing, as important that government provides security, because we have a lot of lands. When you go to Ogbomoso, Ibadan,
in Oyo State, Nigeria,
arable lands. In Oyo State, Nigeria, you will see arable lands. You will see beautiful lands that can be used for plantations, put security, so that the case that we used to have that this other tribe, they will come into the farm and kill people there, they would settle in that. Why don't you get that land, clear it, plant, put security there, let that place be secured. There are farms in the abroad, the US and whatsoever, that when you see a very green land, you see settlement, you see all of these things there, that they monitor this land. So why can't we also have that? It's not the responsibility of the government alone, but also the responsibility of people who are millionaires, who are billionaires. Even in Africa, even though majority are running into real estate. Real estate, which of course probably in the future real estate is good. But what about farming?
Other economic
sectors that you can do this instead of we farming now. We now have houses on the land.
And how many people are living? See, this is not a podcast topic about real estate. I feel like we might have a podcast topic about real estate, because who is living in those something 100 millions of lands or of houses? Well, let's leave that part. I think I want to mention something that you talked about, building on what you said. Like, it's not just about the government. One of the challenges that we have is this colonial legacy, because of course almost every country in Africa can relate to colonialism. One of the colonial legacies is that, because in fact the main essence of colonialism was to move raw materials from where they are plenty to where they are needed, which was the Africa and the Americas to the European markets. Now, in a way, that was the mindset that was still handed over to the nationalists that gained independence in these different countries. At least we can talk about Nigeria because we know about Nigeria. Now, what I'm trying to say is, have we really broken out of that mindset of take your raw materials, raw skills, raw passion, raw knowledge, raw everything.
Country.
Take it, not just a country, take it to someone else or another organization or anything. I'm not saying people should not intern. I'm not saying people should not be apprentices, but I want you to think of resources in different forms now. Now, have we gotten out of that mindset of taking raw materials to be repurposed in other places without us waiting to learn how to process them? Without us, because I feel like one of the things that entrepreneurs do, right, in any country, in any continent, is that they take all the factors of production together, which are in their own way, raw materials, land, labor, capital, and whatever. They take it together, they process them into services or goods. What I'm trying to say is, have we really gotten out of the mindset of take your raw materials, take to another country, buy it back at an exorbitant price, and be suffering? Because I think it's a mindset thing too.
We have not gone past that, because we still do that. I heard that US has a reserve of fuel of petrol or crude oil that can serve them over 50 years. I mean, reserve.
That's real prosperity. People that are alive
They
now,
don't
they are
have what we
thriving.
have.
And the people that are not yet been born, they will not suffer.
They got it from us. They didn't have it. No,
And that's real prosperity. Current expenditure, future still guaranteed.
We have wood. I mean, we have trees used to produce a lot of things, but then we still import toothpick. We actually produce toothpick.
but we still import.
But it is
Toothpick.
to supply compared to the large supply. We cannot meet it. We cannot meet up.
The demand. We can't go with the demand.
We cannot meet. We have lower supply, so we cannot meet up with the demand. We cannot. So we still source for toothpick externally to meet up
Is it just
with,
me? Like I'm
with the
cringe.
demand of. And we have all the resources
We even have
We
people
have the
working on wood.
bamboo,
Like
all
we
of
have
that.
carpenters,
We
we have
have
woodworkers here.
that they even export it. And that's just to talk about one thing. What about other things?
So many others.
So many other things. And we are the largest. I believe that when you are the largest consumer of a thing, you should also be the largest producer of that thing.
That's why there's a
mindset. Oh, of God.
I heard Alhaji Dangote talked about something recently in this viral by the Hard Rock. I think you should see that video. He was interviewing him. He said, why did you have this mindset of, do you know you become this wealthy? Do you have this mindset from the beginning? He said, no, actually. But he said, whatsoever they are producing, they just thought that while they were producing, why can't they produce those material for those products they are producing?
Since they are the consumers of those things.
So for sugar, said, you have a lot of things that they are doing. Let us produce sugar. Cement, we produce it.
And there's limestone in the country.
Now, because of fear again, they brought this fear. It began to, it brought the refinery. What the country cannot do.
That's a provider's mindset.
Because he learns that if you want to give people food, let's just bring it down. You want to give people food, rice, then you still need to go and buy steel. That's nonsense.
You should be able to give them a whole package.
Produce your own steel, then put it on the rice for them or whatsoever. Give it to them. That's how it should be. If you are, I believe Chicken Republic. I don't know, but I believe Chicken Republic has a poultry, because you sell chicken every now and then. Why can't you? I mean, I don't have the facts. I mean, I don't have the statistics for that.
You're just trying to relate it. That whatever you are consuming,
Chicken Republic, you sell chicken, because I was there.
In large quantity.
You sell chicken every now and then. I was just like, I will tell you that was where these people, they sell chicken and it's kind of cheaper compared to some other restaurants, other eatery. And I was like, maybe these people have a poultry. So maybe they have. If they didn't have, then it would have been sad for them. That is, they can have their poultry. It will minimize their cost.
Of course.
Their
and
transportation.
It
will become another source of income for them.
You understand?
Like
Other
consumers of that. They can raise those things, and I mean, you buy something for, I mean, at a lower rate. Then by the time it's grown, you are not buying it again.
The income is still staying.
It's still, because even though people who are selling this normally, they are making profits. How much more you will now sell to? You are now selling the killed one. I mean, fried one.
Yeah.
So I think that is how it ought to be. Whenever you are producing, you are consuming something. Why can't you try and become a producer of that thing? It will lesser the amount you spend on cost, or cost of production.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why we are always having inflation. increase
Yeah.
in price of things, because by the time you calculate the money you went or you spend on cost of production, it will increase because you are not producing it.
Mm.
You are not producing
Most
it.
of the
You are not producing most. You are
material.
you are buying most of those materials. But if you are producing those materials, and it will be cheaper. It will be cheaper. I don't know. I think when they started this flour, a baker, you're like, instead of me getting this, then started golden penny. I think I had that
So you understand, like so provide the
to provide that thing
within
for
the country. Yes.
for that.
them.
I was like, that's good. That's good. So I think that's one of the things that is actually affecting the country and even people who are in it. You're in school, you have teachers, you need teachers. Why don't you produce those teachers from your school? People that just graduated and
You
that
agree?
give them work.
And treat them well.
Treat them well.
Yes, because that's another thing.
Train
Yes.
them. I love what Mr. Emmanuel is doing in Tebeba today. His staff are not actually staffs. They are leaders that he trains, and they are meant to train others. You see now, is bringing the future.
Yes.
The company is already preparing them.
Yes.
Prepping them. He's already doing that. He will not get to a point and now start searching for people who will take this particular role, this particular position.
Yeah.
So he already have them. So by the time that time comes, they will just fill it in.
Yeah, because they have the understanding.
They already have the understanding. Lesser resources now at that point. Lesser resources.
Because those ones can train others.
More output.
And
Thank
faster.
you.
Can train others
So
faster.
if we can always do this in every areas, in everywhere, even in church, it is applicable.
Yes.
It is applicable. So I think that is we have potentials, but how to bring the potentials to give us the results and give us the prosperity that we needed is where we are missing it.
I agree. Because I remember there was a time when, who was the president now? I think it was Buhari, when he shut the border and said there would be no importation of rice. It was a thing then because,
yes.
And Nigerians already subconsciously are used to
adaptability,
importing
everything.
Yes. We believe that
everything
is better.
Local product are not okay.
It's not good. Recently, someone was complaining on Instagram, on an Instagram page, saying she had tried a lot of skincare products from China, from different places. Expensive, and they did not do anything. And as someone just introduced, because she was tired, so say, let her try a Nigerian made skincare product. And surprisingly, her skin began to glow.
Aww.
And then she was on influencing, because she's an influencer. She was saying that she had tried different. So that's to tell you how much people do not believe in the Nigerian
local products.
product.
Yeah.
Because the person she was recommending, so we definitely have been talking about our product. Those ones would have been before that time.
So it's not like when the one they do and we did ourselves.
It reminds me of the cassava bread that one of the former presidents also brought to the country. Like he brought a bill about it to the legislature and everything. It's so sad that project didn't later pull through. Yes, there were the first few loaves of cassava bread, like cassava, instead of wheat, used to produce bread that time. But unfortunately, even right there at the legislature, what you said actually proved true. They did not, even the legislators themselves at that time, did not believe in the product. Imagine if cassava bread had become a fully embraced Nigerian thing since that year.
Household
Imagine
bread
that we had been exporting cassava bread.
Imagine, you talked about arable land. Imagine cassava plantations everywhere. Imagine people employed to,
I don't know what is even going on in Nigeria any longer, because we are trying to move from one sector to the other.
We don't.
Why those sectors that we are living, they are also viable. They are also sector that they can leave this country. I mean, they have been bringing this country. I mean, to this level.
We are just short-sighted in this country.
Because
look at agriculture.
That's what I'm talking about. Agriculture.
People eat every day.
What brought us to this place?
Yeah.
Was it not agriculture that we started exporting things? Was it not the agriculture? But now we are buying a Scotch pepper for how much?
I think that I line up. My brother was showing me a video of a lady, an Igbo lady from Nigeria, who sells, the local sponge. This concombre.
Yeah, that is for babies.
Thank you. How much do you think they'll sell that sponge today? Maybe 15 naira. It is very expensive.
Today,
Eh?
maybe around 300. though.
Eh?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, also sure.
Is there anything 15 naira again?
Maybe
I want you to get to your point. I want you to get to your point.
So this lady got to the US. She sells that sponge, that local sponge. Among buying
Packages.
in a very large quantity, sent it to her. Then you know what she did? She got a branded nylon. She wrote the benefits of the sponge and how to use on that nylon with a brand name. A brand name in front, how to use
use in
the
the back.
benefits at the back. Sell this sponge. And she sent it for dollars.
Oh my.
Galapagos.
They were, what is that? I was like, Jesus. That's something that
We are not. No, we are not
What are
using
you
it. We are not using it. We are not using it.
After
We are
babies
not
have used
using,
the
we are not using it.
you always
no.
done. Even
We're
me,
using
no.
what they call
of course, that's glove.
you understand?
Glove.
So,
Seriously.
This is an important
Well.
conversation. So when we are talking about the wealth paradox in Africa, it's not just a lack of resources. It's a mentality. It's a mentality, it's a mindset thing. Recently, I know there's a particular time when people talk about mental health awareness for men and all. One of the things that a particular man posted that I saw is closely related to what we've talked about, but I want us to look at it in another way. You talked about government, you talked about entrepreneurs, you talked about people manufacturing and all. Let's go to a very, very unlikely territory that is still important: families. Why do African families keep starting from scratch? Why is it that wealth is not always retained in the family? Why is it that at a point some generational wealth leaks through some people? Why is it that? So the man was explaining, okay, in a family, just like in a country, just like in an organization, you have, for instance, 5 siblings, because you know our families are usually like, for instance, you have 5 siblings. One has land, one has maybe access to money or inheritance or something. One is skilled in people management, one is skilled in financial. You just try to pick a scenario and it was like, why can't you in that family unite? Now, where people were having issues with him was because he was saying, the eldest children should be the ones to do. People said, no, he doesn't have to be the eldest child. That it can be any one of them that recognizes that, okay, we can actually come together. Whether you want to establish a family company or not, whether you guys want to turn yourselves into consultants in that area, there are so many ways you can do. Where I'm going is this. Wealth is not just, money. Of course, I know that when we talk about prosperity, some of us speak is money. Of course, money can be a fruit of prosperity, but prosperity in terms of intellectual wealth, prosperity in terms of human resources, prosperity, look at what you mentioned about fair reserves, prosperity in terms of, okay, what we have today can serve those of us that are alive today and still serve people in other generations. One of the challenges we also have, so I'm still going back to that, my point of why we keep starting from scratch. For instance, a grandfather has built an agricultural empire. I'm still going to build on your examples. A grandfather has built an agricultural empire. In the olden days, his son, the son, so all of them will learn that work.
Do that thing.
And they will do it. Let's even assume that not all the children are interested in agri. The people that learn the agri, what are they doing with it? The people that have inheritances, what are they doing with it? Right? Now, why also do we have that mindset of, once I have enough for myself, once I have enough for me and my... So we're just building from scratch, every generation is from scratch, everybody's doing their own separate. I know there are so many challenges, I know people, but why can't we try it?
You see,
why?
It says why some generations of fathers started a particular business and along the line the business does not thrive again, the business does not continue again, and all of that is just stopped, and a child will just come in one generation and decide that no, we are not doing this thing again. See, we have to accept that because you are in the same family, you are not purposed the same way.
Yeah, of course, I understand.
But then it is now the responsibility of the father to put a structure in place from the beginning.
Yeah.
You see what Alhaji Dangote is doing now. Putting his daughters and his son into big places, into not only in one of the companies, in different areas of the company, and put people who are also very good in to lead them, for them to work together, because he knows that anything can happen. So without him, the company will still work. Yes. And with his children in them, it will still work. So one thing we lack like you said, is putting structure in
Structure.
place.
And
While a
long-term
father is
thinking,
starting,
long-term
while
thinking,
while
yeah.
a father is starting that company, it can be a mechanic shop.
Anything.
That at that point,
Yeah.
the shop has grown. That anybody wants to do. I say go to Odo Baba
That's where I'm
Lagbaja.
going. Like the family
They
has built a
built
brand
their name.
around that thing.
So you will not because they did not put a particular this structure in place. Okay, you can allow just one, or if they have interest. I mean, there is always a kind of interest that comes when you see your father doing well in a particular.
Yeah.
There is a son that can actually pick up, even though without stress. That son or that daughter can pick interest in that business.
Of course.
And before you know it, you make such person the head or a particular manager in that company. So along the line, even though when you are not there, that child can take the legacy of the company forward. And by the time he takes it forward, there's a structure already. So
That's
if you
actually
get to another generation that also understands that this one. So I don't believe in people saying that is it only country that I know that you shouldn't do that. But when it comes to your own business, you can do it. If you find such son or such child interested and
willing to learn,
and there is this word, and he has the capacity, he has the ability to do. Don't just go and put because you want to retain it and say,
that's exactly.
no, you do not have the competence. Thank you.
Yes.
You don't have the competence, you don't have the ability or the capability to do any leadership role. You just put him there because you don't want. He will spoil the name before you know it. He will spoil the company before you know it.
Yeah.
But when he has the right sense, not even certificates now, but the intellect to actually run, and you understand where he can maximize this potential, put in there. The structure will continue, the company will continue, the legacy will be there. But that is what we lack, and that is what you said. That is the reason for that we cannot. When it gets to maybe third generation, the company just collapse. So,
wow, I think another problem is wastefulness. Yes, wastefulness. You talked about a father that is able to put a structure in place. A father, a mother, anyone. You're able to put your children through. You show them, maybe they even apprentice or intern at the store or anything. Now, there are still some times when people have access to this wealth or this, family resources. Because the reason why we're talking about families is because there's actually families that are the basic needs of society.
Yes.
And it's from families that, people go into companies, they go into different employment.
Before becoming
now,
a nation.
What of the problem of wastefulness? What of this problem of, these things are available now, why not just spend it? Why not just use it? Another one will still come. And we see people really, the profits, the capital, the revenue, they spend everything.
Well, I think...
And there's no regulation.
Should we say that is an educational problem?
How do you mean?
Like, they are not educated enough to know how to manage resources. I mean, not school education now.
Okay.
I mean, being exposed to how to manage resources.
Okay.
See, when people are not exposed to... Because you don't need to go to school before you can manage. You don't need to go to school. There are a lot of Igbo guys. They have never stepped into any accounting class. But when they manage business, when they open, before you know it, their shop is... They are opening the third shop, the fourth shop. You now be asking, where one Yoruba is still there, that he went to school, he can speak all the English in the world, but he's still maintaining one shop. He's still maintaining. That one Igbo boy has 3 different shops. So when they don't know, they will waste it. When there is no education in terms of that, in that aspect now, they will waste it. What do you expect? You can give 2 million naira to someone, and in that minute, he will squander it. So what kind of knowledge are you giving to that child? So you think that people went to, let's say Oxford, and people who went to let's just say one other school like that. I don't want to compare like that. So let's someone that went to one other school like that. It does not matter the kind of school they went to. What they actually learn, what they can do is what matters. So wastefulness is usually the result of someone who does not have the basic education understanding like that.
That's quite serious. So exposure matters, education matters, and also that mindset of sustainability. Because when we're talking about what prosperity means, right? That prosperity means the people that have now, the people that are alive, they are taken care of. The people that are coming next, like the other generations, we are also caring for them. So I think that's something that's we should actually address.
Yeah, you said something regarding selfish, thinking of my own. Well, I think this generation now, in this season, in this time, in this 21st century, people want to own their own. They want their name to be written.
Yes.
But they've forgotten that there is no way that you will do something spectacular apart from you owning it. It will still carry your name.
Yeah. True.
It will still carry your name. If you do something spectacular,
records.
it will still be there. When Ida Basi wanted to do this thing, though people can say is Ida Basi is this,
She definitely had people.
She definitely have people that she will when she's being interviewed, she will mention, I did not do this alone.
My team, my manager,
this person,
my this.
the person that created that pot.
Yeah, that's actually you.
It was not done, and the person said it is possible. I think I saw the video. The person said it is possible that we can do it. I was like, she herself, she was surprised that she said, we'll do this, we'll do
and
this.
If the pot was not made,
there's nothing like there is no marathon, there is no icon or whatsoever.
Yeah.
So you see now, everybody has important piece that they need to fix into that puzzle. Everybody has an important piece.
Everyone has
you are important as your idea, as that's the whole. So you don't need, sometimes, it's just things of the mind. I need to have my thing of my own, the thing of my own. If you are not actually trying to benefit others, to raise others. Abraham did not just receive the blessing because of himself. He received it for the nation.
True. That's actually true. Wow, this is quite a conversation that should continue even within our different circles, our families, as religious houses, our workplaces, and all. Because wealth, we've talked about what wealth means, what prosperity means, and all of that. You've taken all of that from this video. It's important that we begin to redefine all of those things. So, Ara, if you're going to give us your closing thoughts, what would that be?
Like Mercy said, it's not necessary that it's your child. You asked about how wealth wealth gets to leak, and then the third generation does not get to enjoy the wealth of the first generation. So I feel the structure is not necessary. If you don't have a child who is interested, like you said, wastefulness, if that child doesn't have the potential, no capacity, no interest, you can help that child establish something else. But to maintain that name or that company, that edifice, that empire that you've built for yourself, put the right structure. Look for the right people. Doesn't have to be your child. If the right people are there to maintain and sustain that wealth, it's still your name. It's still that name that would keep being heard. So that's just what I want to,
Wow. Africa's wealth paradox. Prosperity versus, the future prosperity rather, versus being poor or being rich in resources versus being poor in prosperity. This is a topic that we really, really want to read from you about. We are sure that we have challenged some of your perspectives. That's what we do here anyway. So leave us a comment, follow Tebeba Podcast across social media, and also ensure that you give us a like, share this video with all your people within and outside of your country.
Subscribe.
Again.
Subscribe.
Again.
Subscribe.
It doesn't bite.